Thank you for coming on From My Lens podcast. And I'm so excited to talk to you about cyberbullying, social media, and mental health.
Remember, it's insane that I'm sitting here today as a 42-year-old woman who can remember specifically an incident of bullying in school.
Yeah.
So for me, when things like that happen, and I do get those trolls and those comments that are just not nice, they're just not nice. Obviously in the beginning, it does trigger me to the point of what I was just telling you. I'm like, I want to send them a message back. And at least it starts to I start sometimes questioning myself. Like, am I putting out that vibe? Maybe maybe what this person is saying is true. Like I start sometimes questioning myself, but then I snap out of it really quick. Yeah. And honestly, I think that snapping out of it to my therapist that I've been seeing for the last 4 or 5 years, to my life coach, to all the personal work that I've done on myself. And I just send people love. Like I just feel like it has nothing to do with me or with anyone that's getting bullied. It's nothing to do with us. I mean, that person, whoever is doing whatever they're doing,
right,
they just need some love, and maybe there's something that's missing in their life.
Definitely.
And having empathy. I think once you start having empathy for people, there's like a whole other way of looking at it.
Definitely. I agree with you on that. I think when I felt my first cyberbullying just very recently, I think I did get triggered because I felt, why would somebody do that? Are they not over whatever it is that they're kind of still struggling with? Is it something that's like, what is wrong with them? I questioned that at first, or maybe after. And it just made me think that, okay, instead of kind of really like being angry about this, I need to be empathetic towards them and just wish them well. I mean, everybody's going through something, right? And I guess a lot of people do that, A, because of attention, B, they have their own insecurities that they are unable to kind of handle privately, So
Yeah.
how is your situation? I remember regarding your post. I don't know if you want to talk about it or not. It's up to you.
I always say, what is the point? Like, what is the point of like gossiping and talking behind people's back? I mean, yeah, maybe in that moment it might get you some, conversation or attention. But afterwards, like, do you really feel good about that? Do you know what I mean? I think that's what people really need to sit with. So for me, when I heard this person, someone said, oh, this person said blah, blah, blah.
Right.
It was like disappointing, and I felt like sad for me, but also sad for the person who was saying it. And then I started to think, like, why? Like, what do people, like you said, what do people actually get out of it? And then I went into empathy, like you mentioned as well. Right. So I think that we go through, like, everybody deals with it differently. Everybody has different triggers, but the most important thing for me, at least, to recognize is how do I respond to it, or how do I want to respond to it? And if I can give any advice to people that are getting, bullied right now, because I know cyberbullying, I call it keyboard heroes, because they're sitting behind the keyboard.
That's new.
And do you know what I mean? And of course, when you're sitting behind the keyboard, you've got
so
balls.
Easy to just
got so many people today are getting bullied online, cyberbullying, because come on, it's super easy. Anyone can, be behind their keyboard and send out, nasty messages or comments. But as long as you know who you are, and I feel like that's what's important. Like, if you just know who you are, and you know that, you're a good person, and you want to just, do good, and no negative vibes.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Mind your own business. That's all.
Yeah. Right. That's the only thing that we can control. We can control us, what we do every day. We can't control what others. Right. So I think that's for me was just really an eye-opening experience where I did feel like I needed to share it on social media because I
And
knew
was
that if
that,
it was, yeah,
and
sorry.
sorry, was that something that happened for the first time, like especially with somebody who
Um,
you knew, or?
so it was something, so the trolling and the comments and the DMs,
Yeah.
you know, those happen quite a bit.
Okay.
Okay, like
Never faced that
people.
yet.
Oh, okay, yeah. People just, I feel like the more you grow your social media presence
Mm,
and the more you put yourself out there, the
yeah.
more people will,
Shallow.
yeah, like the
Yeah.
more people, it gives them an opportunity to just comment
Do
not
they
nice
even have
things.
a life?
Yeah, I don't know. But those don't even bother me anymore. Those
Yeah.
used to,
Yeah.
kind of like trigger a little bit, maybe when I first started with like really growing my social media presence, but those don't even, I'm like, delete, delete, delete. I mean, the DMs,
You probably don't even read them.
the comments, I actually leave it on there. I'm like, sure. I don't respond. I won't
Definitely.
respond to it because I don't want to entertain it.
Mhm.
But no problem. You want to have that nasty comment there? Let's leave it on there, right? Like I feel like it makes them look bad. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
definitely. It's like,
So I'm
okay.
like, okay. But that particular one, the from an acquaintance, that
Mm,
was, I think, the first time, not the first time, I mean, I'm sure maybe that I can remember recently that happened. So that one
yeah.
kind of hit a little
Hit
bit
hard.
deeper. Yeah,
Yeah.
just like, and it starts to make you, for me, it started to like make me doubt myself.
Mhm.
Like for a moment, I was like, maybe what she's saying could be true, or you know what
Hmm.
I mean? Like for a moment, I
Interesting.
was like,
How did you handle that? Like when you, before you posted your thought and whatever, like how did you handle it when you first saw it or first heard about it?
um, I was a little bit like taken back, but I
Okay.
also,
Yeah.
didn't want to, again, I didn't want to entertain it too much. So when the person shared it with me, I was like, okay, yeah, you know what I mean? Like I played it down, but I think when
Yeah.
I went home and I was kind of by myself, that's when it went a little bit more like to the point where like I called my husband and like, do you see me like this? Or do I come
Oh
out,
my God. So you started to doubt
Yeah,
yourself because
exactly.
of that one person. Wow.
Yeah. And then I snapped out of it. Like honestly, right away. Like my BFF, like she was like, oh my God, like she like poured so much belief into me. And then,
Yeah.
my family, and it was
Yeah.
just like it was like in and out. And that helped me, by the way, even sharing it on social media without saying too much, right? Because again, I don't
Yeah, of
want to,
course.
but
Yeah.
just sharing a little bit on social media, it almost was like therapy for me. Just
Yeah,
like,
definitely. You kind of have to put this stuff out there, obviously not to even like point fingers at them because it's not going to make you any less. Clearly, like it's, if I had done something like that to that individual, I'll make comments and things like that and so on. I'm pretty much on the same level as them, right?
exactly.
And but what you did was in return, you actually showed a sense of empathy, and that's what I love. Um, yeah, so like when I saw that, I actually felt inspired to even like speak to you about it today. There are a lot of young people right now on social media, and especially with like platforms like TikTok, and they're seeing such things and such comments like that, or how do you kind of comment on that, like especially for young people, and these.
This is kind of like a very dear to my heart just because I have an almost 17-year-old,
Yes.
and she's on TikTok, and
Mm-hmm.
so is my 12-year-old
Oh,
girl,
yeah.
on TikTok. So I know, and I can see how much it affects that generation when they do get, some negativity or commenting on their social media platforms. So for me, I always make sure that my kids know that, I mean, social media, let's be real, it is fake. A lot of
It
it
is
is, I'm
definitely.
sorry to say, but it's
Yeah.
people are sharing only the amazing things about their life. We're
Definitely.
not seeing all the struggle, all the tears, all the hard work, all the falls, how many times I've failed in different businesses, how much, money I've lost in different businesses. Like,
Yeah.
people don't see that. People just see
Yeah.
like, okay, she's so successful. She drives a nice car. She has, you know what I mean? Like, they don't
You do, by the way.
see, but you know what I mean? Like, they don't see like all the story from like all the crap,
yeah,
all
the crap.
the crap
Definitely.
that happens. So
all that hard work, all that hustle, how you get to that.
You might get a message, like a DM that's nasty, and I tell them that there's a lot of that. And that not even on social media, like even growing up, getting a job, like not everyone's gonna like you, not everybody's gonna want to be your friend.
Definitely.
Right? But that's okay. You don't want everyone. You don't want everyone. And also empathy. I teach my kids empathy. I think if we continue to teach our next generation about just to be empathetic, right, and not like respond negatively and like go into like such a like responsive and a defensive mode
mechanism. Exactly.
I think, oh my God, life would be, oh gosh, everything, community would be so much better.
Definitely. Right? And I think like that's what's missing right now. Suddenly, like I felt before the pandemic, Instagram was more healthier place, or TikTok, and suddenly TikTok, Instagram has become a platform of like bashing people, or
making fun of people,
making fun of people just because people are running out of content. And my thought process is like, okay, you know what? They clearly are going through something, and yeah, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, I do have, there is mental health stuff in my family. So, with again, 3 young kids who are very, who for them dramatically. So, there's anxiety that we deal with. There's, panic attacks that we deal with. My husband had, went through some mental health things a few years back, 3-4 years back. So it's something that I think people were very shy, and not shy, but very like reserved about sharing before, right? It wasn't like open, but I feel like now it's our job, I feel like, you, myself, and everybody else, is to normalize it. Right? To make it normal. Like, we all go through stuff. Like, I don't care who you are. You can be the most successful person in the world, okay? Making all the money, traveling the entire world, whatever. Trust me when I say that you still have crap and stuff that you're going to go through and grow through, right? And that's where I think you need to definitely share about your app, because right, like I want to know that as a resource, because again, with 3 teenage kids, and even for myself who suffers from anxiety,
I think your girls would love the app.
So please, like, I'd love to know a little bit about that and that resource that you have for us.
Definitely. So basically, I launched this app in intentions of creating a health and wellness and mental health lifestyle, all-in-one platform for girls, young girls, for women. There's no age sort of gap here. Anybody can use this, even men can use this. It was a lot of trials and errors when I first did this, but I have an amazing developer who did this, and we teamed up, and I actually designed the app myself. It's called From My Lens app, or rather From My Lens. It's available on Apple and Google Podcast, or Google Play, sorry. So basically in this app, it's all about getting daily motivations. You get a daily notification pop-up, from anything to like how your day is going, just to motivate you, give you that little pump and that boost, to features like meal planner. So I am collaborating with somebody I know, she's a nutritionist. I definitely want to involve a lot of professional with this app, so I can feature them as well. to give them a platform to be able to showcase maybe on a monthly or a weekly with their meal plans. And they could use this platform for their clients if they need to. And what's amazing about this app, it's only $5 per month. And people can always reach out to me. It's obviously affordable, but I can always give them a free trial for at least a month. And if they like it, they can continue on with it. Yeah, and also it has a live chat. So I'm also working with somebody who's not a therapist, but she's more of a counselor. She's a coach. Basically trying to involve a lot of professional women who have the access from the admin end to be able to answer people's questions when they really need help. Whether it's like from live chat to live GPS for people who are runners, people who love to work out. I have like a connection to my podcast so they could listen to our podcast and hopefully get motivated by it. I also have features like task management where you could take notes and it'll actually give you daily reminders. Have you done it? And once you have, that's when it's all, it'll go away. But it's definitely going to keep up with you till you've really boxed it off. There are so many cool features like even hydration trackers. I don't want to get into the details, but it really hit me. It really hit me. And I felt, what can I do to help women out there, young girls, young guys, young men, anybody really. Obviously, this app doesn't discriminate. It's for everybody around the world. Yeah, so the best part is it also has like a consultation as well. There's so many cool features, you name it. It also has a blog. I also wrote like 3 ebooks called Life from My Lens, and things like that. So they could just go on, and it's literally like a lifestyle and health and wellness platform.
That is amazing, because that's exactly what people need right now. They need some sort of a resource, and I know a lot of people can't have, pay for weekly therapists or weekly coaching. So even having something so affordable like that, I think could really impact somebody's life in a huge way. I feel like it touches a lot of people's lives.
Yeah, so hopefully, I really hope that they utilize as much as possible. I usually tend to kind of make this free every now and then, so anybody can use it. And I usually get a notification, so I just kind of give them like a month sort of a free trial, and access to every feature in there, and not have it locked. And that's just my purpose. And hopefully it really helps people along the way.
Yeah, I can definitely see how much benefits anyone would get from that. So thank you for creating that.
Seriously. Thank you. Yeah. What advice would you give right now to anybody who's watching or listening to this, in terms of how social media has really impacted mental health, basically?
Yeah. You know what I would say, if you're not having fun on social media, and if you're not, enjoying the content that you're seeing on social media, it's very simple. Like if somebody posts things that do not make you feel good, unfollow them.
That's it.
I say it to everybody. I'm like, if you're not feeling good, like looking at somebody's social media, if you're not getting that good vibe, and if it's just dragging you down, making you miserable, just you're like having a bad day because it always pops up, unfollow. So that's my number one tip. If you are unhappy looking at somebody's feed, you're not vibing with them. It's as simple as that. And then the other, thing that I always say to people is, I think there's a lot of pressure to, post on social media.
On daily basis.
Yeah. It's like you have to do it. You have to do you want to grow your account, you want to grow your presence. And a lot of coaches say that, okay, because I work with a lot of, and I love those people, don't get me wrong. And everybody has their different views, different perspectives, and maybe what works for you might not work for me, and what works for this person. which is cool.
I love
But
that you're like that though. Like, I'm glad you didn't say to get more likes, to get more followers, you have to be consistent.
yeah,
And consistent doesn't mean that if you're not consistent on social media, it does not mean you're not being consistent in your life outside of social media.
yeah, it's for me because because I was that person that you just said. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I was there where I was like, oh my God, you got to be consistent. You got to step outside your comfort zone. You got to do this. I was that person until recently, just going through a lot of stuff, you know, health, mental illness in my family. All of a sudden one day I was like, what am I doing? Like, I'm not having fun. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not just going to post to post.
That's it.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, I'm not just gonna post just because like today is Monday and I gotta do a post on Monday.
The Monday
Right.
post.
Yeah. Right. So I stopped. So if anyone goes on my feed, they'll actually see how it went from every day
Yeah.
to literally no schedule whenever I feel good. When I feel good and I feel creative and I feel like my content will add value to others, that is when I post. Like I just looked today and I'm like, oh, okay, it's been 3 days. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't care. Today,
Doesn't
actually, I
matter,
do.
yeah.
Yeah. Today, I was like, okay, I actually feel good. I'm going to probably
Yeah.
do a post. Right.
Matters.
But I don't care anymore. Like, I'm so over it. I just want to like connect with real people. I don't want you know, there's a lot of also follows, unfollows. I don't know if you.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, so I'm gonna follow this person and I'll unfollow after. It's like
Exactly.
that little tactic. It's like, what is wrong with you? That's not working.
Like, exactly. Like, please, if someone is listening to this and you're doing the follow,
Still doing
unfollow,
that.
just like, it's not cool anymore. Not in 2021. It's just not cool anymore. Yeah.
And
So
I kind of liked what you said in terms of like the whole, like, you don't need to feel pressurized to post daily. I also feel that if you don't post, then people automatically think like, oh, something's bad happening in your life. Why? I don't understand that mindset.
that's so funny you brought that up because last week I just wasn't in the mood. There's just like lots of stuff happening, and I didn't do like my Instagram story, or I didn't do for a few days.
Yes.
And some of my amazing Instagram, I call it like my Instagram family, my friends, a couple actually messaged me and they were like, we didn't see your post. Like, is everything okay? And I'm like, oh my goodness. Yeah. Like everything is, you know what I mean? It's just funny how, not funny, but it's interesting how people just go to that assumption as soon as you don't do a post, something is wrong. And in this case, maybe not that something was wrong, but what was wrong was that I just wasn't feeling it. Do you know what I mean? If I'm not feeling it, then I don't want to, I'm just not going to post. So I think at least with my audience, they're starting to understand that more and more, because I did go from like being every day, like you mentioned, consistent thinking, but it was
when you want to.
Yeah, to when I want to, because I lost the joy of being consistent.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? I just wasn't joy. It wasn't fun. And my whole vibe is like, if you're not having fun, don't freaking do it. Don't do it.
I totally agree with you. And I think for me, it's the same. I don't like to post every day. I know I recently did a Spain or Seville, Spain dump, photo dump, but I'm just going to pause for a bit, just because I just want to focus on being present, what I'm doing right now, my couple of ventures I'm working on, and then just like post whenever I want to, when I really feel it. If I'm getting a headache, I probably wouldn't want to.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean my world is falling apart if I'm not going to. It just means I'm working on myself outside of social media,
Exactly.
So
yeah, just choosing. People can choose not to. People can choose, to do it. Whatever works. I always say whatever works for you.
Yes, definitely.
Whatever works for you.
Cool. Thank you so much, Liz.